Team White. E4. Oh, the typical Sicilian. Well, let's get some more of an understanding with this. I'm saying this for myself, really. Alapin's variation, I think I could use some more work, more experience in this opening, so let's run with this. Is there something better than d4? Probably not. You do c3, so you follow up with d4. Don't hesitate there. And now I could capture. Pawn takes, pawn recaptures, and then just play a bit more solidly. Or I could turn it into an advanced French, where e5 is played. Let's see. We're gonna see about that. Take, take, knight here. I'm gonna try that. So what we could see, well, let's see what black does first. Okay, now since the pawn recaptured captures, at any moment there could be a situation where black has an isolated queen pawn. Okay. Let's go knight f3. If I capture on c5, I'm going to do it after this bishop moves. For tempo reasons, for time reasons, I don't want that bishop to go from point A to point B in one shot. So what can I be doing in the meantime? I could pin this knight. I don't know how uncomfortable that would really be. I could also consider bishop d3. But I want to be in a position where I do what? Where I'm able to recapture on this square with a piece. And if I'm playing here, I'm not able to really do that. I might want to also consider that the bishop could be quite annoying on this diagonal, so maybe playing to a bit more solid of a square like e2 is good. I'm going to do that. So it's really quiet, but it's solid, I think. I could have also considered b5, and if it gets kicked around with a6, I weasel around in this direction. But this pin, again, could be quite uncomfortable, and I don't know if I really want to devote some time to playing h3 just to prevent this pin, and then play my bishop to d3, a more aggressive diagonal. So more development. Again, you'll note I'm not taking on this square until this guy moves, or at least I'm not going to consider it. I'm going to make more. I'm going to make other moves. I'm going to make purposeful moves, like castle, like I did, like knight f3, like knight g5, maybe even knight to d2. Knight d2 is likely going to be the spot for my knight, and we will not be having this exchange. So, with this structural change, what should happen? I think by force, I can get my a rook active, so that's what I'm going to run forward with right now. Just ready to move my rook. My rook cannot move. Not yet, at least. So this pawn I'm viewing as being overextended. Putting pressure on it. It cannot be maintained. Should b5 be played, I respond with a4. And should a6 get played, that's a blunder. Because this a pawn is really not defending the b5 square because of pin issues. Because this rook is unprotected on a8. So there might be a line b5, a4, knight here. Let's see about this. If the knight plays here, I think the move to go with is knight to this square, I think. Well, I've seen this on the black side. I've seen something similar to this happening to black in the Caro-Kann. I think it's quite all right for white here. Where after knight a5, I go with this particular knight to d2 to watch over both these squares. And if you're wondering maybe why not move this knight to d2, it may be because of a possibility for b4, and then depending on what sort of exchanges occur, then there's a c3 move available, or a b takes c3 move available. But going with this king knight, this knight is around to watch over it. So I'm breaking down this structure. Let's chop here. I have this open file for my rook, or half open file. Let's chop again, or do I play knight here first? I think I just chop here again. My queen is ready to maybe come out to this a file. You know, the position is opening up also at a moment where my opponent is 2 moves away from castling. Sometimes just being 1 move back from castling could be an issue, and right now there's a couple moves needed. The e file is completely opened. Possibilities for knight a3, and well, this is going to turn out to be a serious problem, I'm pretty sure, because of pins, checks, pressure on the knight. Bishop may be coming here. So I'm just looking for the correct sequence of moves, and I think I'll be able to throw black in a knot here. This seems very appealing, so I'm going to go with this as a starter. Not only for the pin, but also at minimum, I'm grabbing that c4 pawn. There's also a rook check followed by bishop a3. Rook check. Or actually, let me do this. Knight here, and then rook here is forced. Rook to e1, bishop here. I take. I'm seeing it. I think I see it. Knight here, rook c8. Rook here, threatening discover check. Bishop e7. Knight takes, queen takes, queen takes, rook takes. Rook to a7 so that there's no rook c7 to defend the bishop. And after knight to d5, I think bishop to a3 ends up winning a piece. Let's see if I did that right. Let's see. As far as I could tell, rook here is the only. Followed up with this rook move, bishop e7 needed. Knight takes, queen takes, queen takes, rook takes pawn. I'm on the bishop twice, and it's still in a pin. Knight here to defend the bishop, and then one last attacker. Bishop to a3 is winning. Oh, I messed up the move order. Did you see how I just, I did that? Actually, this still might be okay. I meant to do that move first. Okay, so I was rehearsing to myself that line over and over, and then what do? I mess it up. So I also have checks available. Ah, you know what? This is better. I was thinking after knight here, I go here, but hang on. This is better. Change of plans. So I did not see this variation correctly. This is still winning, but it's not best. I'm getting what's better, getting a rook or a bishop. So this is the better line. I don't know why I wasn't. Well, there's a quick mental note I could be making for myself, seeing that as soon as I'm on this 7th rank, the possibilities for rook to a8 are now available. Seeing how the king is not castled, the back rank vulnerable. Okay. Good game. Let's hit that back button here. Flip this screen. Flip the board. And let's see how things are looking from your perspective. If you really want to, as black, to be assured that it's a more French-like type of position, a more Frenchy type of pawn structure, You could just take here, and after I recapture, then play d5. So you could maybe turn the... Well, you could limit my choices by taking here first and then following up with d5. You give the game a bit... You have an opportunity to give this game a bit more direction. So now after this move, you're seeing a way that white is able to take advantage of this pawn being on this square. After b3, there really is not a way to maintain that pawn. So that's really the bulk of it at this point. What can you be doing instead of c4? c4 is met with b3, and you're not in a position, you don't have enough development in to really support it with an eventual b5 type of stuff. So what can you be doing instead? How about maybe bishop here, I take, you take, and we move forward from there. You're having to work with an isolated pawn, but you know, you're not getting killed with your king being caught in the center. It turned out that the position was just opening up, so it's an easy slip to do. I could see how you would just get caught up in trying to make it work, but just from this little experience, we can know that it's maybe just turning out to be a case where the pawn is overextended, and it's just not the right time to be running with it. So okay, that's probably just the main point, but good game to Zuri.